Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go into chapter 25 of Marked by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. So let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off the video now. You have been warned. Also, I'm sorry about the mess behind me. We've been trying to declutter, and as you can see, it's just all sitting on my couch right now. But anyways, let's get right into this video. Cooper! Sorry. There's the dog. The next day started with what I looked back on later as suspicious normalcy. Stevie Ray and I ate breakfast, still whispering good gossip about how hot Eric was and trying to figure out what I'd wear on our date Saturday. We didn't even see Aphrodite or the hag triplets, Warlike, Terrible, and Wasp. Vamp Social class was so interesting. We'd moved from the Amazons to learning about an ancient Greek vampire festival called Korea, that I'd stopped thinking about the Dark Daughter's ritual plan for that evening, and for just a little while I'd actually quit worrying about what I was going to do about Aphrodite. Drama class was good too. I decided to do one of Kate's soliloquies from The Taming of the Shrew. I've loved that play ever since I saw the old movie starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Then as I was leaving class, Nefret snagged me in the hall and asked how far I'd read in the upper level Vamp Soch book. I had to tell her that I really hadn't read much. Translation, I hadn't really read any yet, and I was totally distracted by her obvious disappointment in me when I hurried into English class. I'd just taken my seat between Damien and Stevie Ray when all hell broke loose and everything vaguely resembling anything normal about the day ended. Professor P was reading You Go and I'll Stay a While, Chapter 4, A Night to Remember. It's really a good book, and we were all listening as usual. Then that Elliot kid started coughing. Geesh, the kid was totally and completely annoying. Somewhere in the middle of the chapter and the obnoxious coughing, I started to smell something. It was rich and sweet, delicious and elusive. Automatically, I inhaled deeply, still trying to concentrate on the book. Elliot's coughing got worse, and with the rest of class, I turned to give him a dirty look. I mean, please, could he not get a cough drop or drink or whatever? And then I saw the blood. Elliot wasn't in his usual slouched and sleeping position. He was sitting straight up, staring at his hand, which was covered with fresh blood. As I watched him, he coughed again, making a nasty wet sound that reminded me of the day I'd been marked. Only when Elliot coughed, bright scarlet blood spewed from his mouth. What? He gurgled. Get in a fret, Professor P snapped, then the command as she jerked open one of her desk drawers, yanked out a neatly folded towel, and moved quickly down the aisle to Elliot. The kid who was sitting closest to the door took off. In utter silence, we watched Professor P make it to Elliot just in time for his next bloody cough, which she caught in the towel. He clutched the towel to his face, hacking and spitting and gagging. When he finally looked up, bloody tears were running down his pale, round face, and blood was pouring from his nose, like it was a faucet someone had left on. When he turned his head to look up at Professor P, I could see that there was a red stream coming from his ear too. No, Elliot said with more emotion than I'd ever heard him show. No, I don't want to die. Shh, Professor P soothed, smoothing his orange hair back away from his sweaty face. Your pain will end soon. But no, he started to protest again in a whiny voice that sounded more like his own. Cooper, come here. Then he was interrupted by another round of hacking coughs. He gagged again, and this time puking blood into the already soaked towel. Nefret entered the room with two tall, powerful-looking vampire men close behind her. They carried a flat stretcher and a blanket. Nefret was carrying only a vial filled with milky-colored liquid. 2 breaths behind them, Dragon Langford burst into the room. That's his mentor, Stevie Ray whispered, almost soundlessly. I nodded, remembering when Professor P had chastised Elliot for letting Dragon down. Nefret handed Dragon the vial she'd been holding. Then she stood behind Elliot. She put her hands on his shoulders. Instantly, his gagging and coughing subsided. Drink this quickly, Elliot, Dragon told him. When he started to weakly shake his head, no, he added gently, it will make your pain end. Will you stay with me? Elliot gasped. Of course, Dragon said. I won't let you be alone for even a moment. Will you call my mom? Elliot whispered. I will. Elliot closed his eyes for a second, and then, with shaking hands, he held the vial to his lips and drank. Nefret nodded to the 2 men, and they picked him up and laid him on the stretcher as if he was a doll and not a dying kid. With Dragon by his side, they hurried from the room before Nefret followed them. She turned to face the shocked classroom of third formers. I could tell you that Elliot will be fine, that he will recover, but that would be a lie. Her voice was tense but filled with commanding strength. The truth is, his body has rejected the change. In minutes he will die, the permanent death, and will not mature into a vampire. I could tell you not to worry and that it won't happen to you, but this would be a lie too. On average, 1 out of every 10 of you will make the change. Some fledglings die early in their 3rd former year, as is Elliot. Some of you will be stronger and last until your 6th former year, and then sicken and die suddenly. I tell you this not so that you will live in fear. I tell you for 2 reasons. First, I want you to know that as your high priestess, I will not lie to you, but will help ease your passing into the next world if the time comes. And second, I want you to live as you would be remembered if you would die tomorrow, because you might. Then if you do die, your spirit can rest peacefully, knowing that you leave behind an honorable memory. If you do not die, then you will have set the foundation for a long life rich with integrity. She looked straight into my eyes as she finished saying, I ask that Nyx's blessings comfort you today, and that you remember death is a natural part of life, even a vampire life. For someday we all must return to the bosom of the goddess. She closed the door behind her with a sound that seemed to echo faintly. I'm going to leave it off right there, and I will see you guys in part 2 of this chapter. Bye.